Okay. Carol, I am so happy to see you. Thank you for coming to the studio.
Oh, Dottie, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
So do me a favor. You've been a broker. You're a top broker. You're in the top 1% of the country at Douglas Elliman, and I am very honored and thrilled to have you at our company.
Oh, well, thank you.
How did this all happen for you? I mean, how did you get involved with writing the book? I mean, how did the whole thing...
Well, writing the book, I was approached early last year, 2014, by a publisher. Out of the blue, she called me from California. Her name's Erica Glessing. She has a small publishing company. And she said, I'm doing this real estate book, and it's called Luxury Home Selling Mastery. And I found you on luxuryrealestate.com, which was the former Who's Who in Luxury Real Estate. And then I looked at your LinkedIn, and I saw your videos, your property videos and your market videos, and that you're a top broker, and I just wanted to reach out to you to see if you have an interest in contributing to this book.
So you know, and again, I want to give a lesson to everyone. I mean, Carol is in the top 1%, and people Google today to look for people, and she had her social media and LinkedIn. By the way, if you don't know, I think most people know, but it's more of like a business. I'd say a lot of people in business go on it, and when they're looking for someone in business, and actually you create networks. So they found Carol on LinkedIn and Luxury Real Estate, and you posted some of the things that you've done, which I'm sure
Correct.
she saw.
Oh, yes. I have my videos on LinkedIn, and I have testimonials, everything. I have a very full profile on LinkedIn.
Right. And that's really important today. I mean, a lot of people underestimate the importance of social media today. It's really key. We're all getting better at it, we hope, but you have to put time into that. So anyhow, she approached you.
Correct.
She found you. Now, did you say to yourself, did you know who she was, or did you do your homework, or what did you?
I had no idea who she was. I Googled her.
Right.
And,
see, that's what it's like today.
Yes. So I discovered that she did a previous real estate book, and she also did some other books. So I did give her an answer right away. I didn't commit right away. And I thought about it. And the more I thought about it, I said, this is an excellent opportunity for me to talk about luxury real estate, to tell the story about Manhattan luxury real estate, and how it's different than other real estate, how it's done in other parts of the country, what it's about, my passions, how luxury real estate is sold in the city.
And by the way, it is different. Now, without giving away all of the book, because you want people to buy it, and by the way, the name of the book is Luxury Home Selling Mastery by Erica Glessing, and you can get that at
Amazon.
Amazon.
Oh, and by the way, on Amazon, it's a bestseller, and in December, we reached number 5 on Amazon for a real estate book. So we're proud of that.
Wow, you should be proud of that.
And with very little promotion. That's what was so interesting.
Yeah, no. I mean, there was really none.
I think people really want to know.
They do. So without giving away all of the secrets of the book, give us some of the highlights that you write about in the chapter. And you're right in the beginning. You're in the first chapter. It's called The Mastery of Selling Luxury Real Estate. So give us some of the highlights and what you wrote about, and how you decided on how to cover that, and what you think is really important.
First of all, I explained to the reader how Manhattan real estate is so different, that the makeup of the properties, that we're very unique in that 80% of the makeup of properties are co-ops. And 20% condominiums. And the cooperative product concept is very different and unique to New York. There are some co-ops in L.A., but it's
not many.
But not many, and it's very unique to New York.
The name of the book is Luxury Home Selling Mastery by Erica Glessing, right? Erica Glessing?
Correct.
Yes. And Carol Staub participated in doing this, and she's The first chapter is hers, and she's in the top 1% of all the brokers in the United States. So I would say that that gives her tremendous credibility, and I can vouch for that since we're so lucky to have her at Douglas Elliman. Now, the word luxury real estate is kind of a loose word. So let me ask you, what do you define as luxury real estate? What is your definition? And when you ask people, it's even when you do definitions like what is luxury to you, or what do you define it as in your book, or basically use?
Luxury real estate defined as far as numbers, and when I do my luxury market video reports, usually I start at $4 million and over. And it's segmented because, we have so many luxury markets now. It's $4 million and over. Then we have the $10 million and over market, the $20 and $30 million and over market. And yesterday in the Wall Street Journal Mansion section, they mentioned the new $40 million and over market. And there actually were 37 homes in that market, in that $40 million and over market, that's sold since 2008, according to Jonathan Miller.
Yes, well, Jonathan does all reports, and Jonathan used to do the show with me, except, Jonathan lives in Connecticut, and he did it for a couple of years, drove into the city every day, every Saturday, and then after a while he said, Gotti, sorry. But he comes on as a guest. But luxury real estate, and look, whatever market you're in, consider luxury real estate the top 10% of that market. So for different places, the number would be a different number, but in New York, it happens to be very, very high. Now, you might say, well, how does that help me? I don't have something that's $20 million. Well, when prices continue to rise, it really affects everything around it. And as I say to all the listeners who are in the suburbs, or you're in Queens, or you look at Long Island City, or Brooklyn, that all became a reflection of the city numbers being so high. So what's around it starts to grow up. And they're predicting that in 2016, besides for Queens, which is happening as we speak, really because Brooklyn is so high, they expect Bronx which is really undervalued compared to the rest of the boroughs, to really come up. And those of you in the Connecticut, Jersey, Westchester, Long Island, the suburbs, I do believe that as Manhattan prices go up, you're going to see that some people elect to move to the suburbs. So it's all good. All right. So you know what? We have a caller on the line, so I want to take them soon. But let me, because I'd love you to come back. But before you leave, what I'd like you to do is you have some stories of some difficult deals that happened.
Yes.
And I always think that people sometimes think, sometimes you watch shows and they make it look, I watch all those shows, but, I don't think people realize, being a real estate broker or professional is really probably one of the hardest jobs that I know of. Really, and it looks like, let me just show someone 3 or 4 houses and they'll buy one. But that is so far from what really happens. And you have a couple of examples in your book.
Yes.
Pick one and tell a story of one of them, because I think that they're interesting. So what is one of the most challenging deals that you had?
One of the most challenging deals that I had was many years ago, condominium in Midtown. I represented both the seller and the buyer. And
Now you have to disclose that, right, Jerry?
That's correct.
By the way, you have to tell a seller, if it's a real estate broker, they're either representing the buyer or the seller. But if they're representing both, they must disclose that to you. And then if you say, fine, I understand you're representing both of us, then that's fine. But they have to disclose who they're representing. Go ahead.
So my client, the seller, had tenants in place, 2 young men that were in the tech sector. Actually, the apartment, it's a beautiful apartment with open exposures of Central Park, and it was on a high floor, 2-bedroom. And believe it or not, they just had equipment. It looked like they sort of lived there. But anyway, so I got an offer, a great offer, presented it to my seller, and he goes, I have a problem. I said, you have a problem? He said, yes. He said, well, I just met with my attorney. I said, about what? He said, about my tenants. He said, they're 4 months in arrears in their rent. And he said that my attorney said that it could take 6 months to get them out. And I said, this deal is going to fall through. These buyers want to close like in 90 days. So you're going to lose this. And it was a great offer. And so I said, let me think about what could be done. So I told the tenants that I needed to have the apartment cleaned and that there was new buyers. And then I told them, oh, guess what? The contract is signed. The apartment is now sold. So your lease is void. So you're going to need to move out. And in a week's time, they moved out.
They did. Now,
Yeah.
wait a second. I've got some questions, but let me ask you quick, Jerry. Don't you, if you have a lease, doesn't that... I usually tell sellers if somebody has a lease, then if you sell the property, you might have to still honor the lease.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I agree with the legal analysis, but it was certainly creative.
No,
Right.
right, I know, but what I'm just telling people is that worked. But
That
a lot
worked.
of times, when you're buying something, if there are tenants in, whether they're paying the rent or they're not paying the rent, you have to know what that lease says, because sometimes you can't. If you're selling something and a person has a 5-year lease and the 5 years is up 3 years from now, you might, as a buyer, have to take those people. So I'm sure their lease had some clause in it, but
Right.
but you actually tried first.
Correct.
And what you did is what I recommend everyone do when they call us on the show and say we have this problem. I'm like, did you try talking to the people first?
Correct.
Because obviously you talking to them and telling them they had to move out, they moved out.
Correct.
So-
So it was...
That's a great story, but it's in the book. And I'm going to ask you to come back, but what I want to do is post this on my sites. So maybe on later on, or if you want to wait around, or if you want on Monday, you give me this and we'll post it. And I wish you'd come back again and tell us some more stories. You were great.
I certainly will, and I really look forward to being able to talk more about the book.
Thank you, Carol. Now remember, that's Luxury Real Estate, Luxury Home Selling Mastery. It's a great book by Erisa Glassing, and you can get it on Amazon. And I'm sure you'll get it in the Hamptons, too. It's great reading on the beach.